Welcome to our presentation from Group 3. I'm Aviva.
My name is Arzian Laelani.
My name is Gabriele Patricia Siagian.
Today, what I want to share with you is our presentation with title Analyzing Data of Seller on Toko10. Before we jump into this presentation, we have a suggestion for Mr. Rija Muhammad Norman to download this file Excel on Google Drive. We are not recommendation open this file on Google Spreadsheet. In system summary, this project was created to help our analyzing data of seller on Toko10 in making reports in terms of profit and loss, stock items, transaction data, and the types and name of items. System process of analyzing data of seller on Toko10. The purpose of this project is to manage the data from seller on Toko10 using Excel. This project uses Excel function and component like sum, count, index, match, average, pivot, etc.
Next is entities from list the Excel function. Number of tables there are 11 with the name of the first table is customer account. Second is sold out and red products. 3 is search products for January. 4 is customer checkout in January. 5 is search product for February. 6 is customer checkout in February. 7 is search product for March. 8 is customer checkout in March. 9 is seller account. 10 is Mozilla Fashion for January, February, and March. And the last is profit in 3 months. Next is number of pivot tables. There are 6. With the name of the first table is profit in January. The second is loss in January. Third is profit in January. 4 is loss in February. 5 is profit in March. And the last is loss in March.
Next is number of regular graphic. The sum is 12. First is the lowest sold in January. Next, the lowest rate in January. The highest sold in January. Profit total in February. The lowest sold in February. The highest sold in February. The lowest rate in February. Profit in March. The lowest sold in March. The highest sold in March. The lowest rate in March. And the last is profit in 3 months. Next is number of pivot chart. The first is profit in January, loss in January, loss in February, and the last is loss in March.
After that, we are going to jump into the Excel file. Make sure you have already chosen customer's checkout. In customer account table, it has 14 columns. Account ID is a unique identifier. Each of record a customer. Each of account ID has a meaning, like C for customer, 11 for registration month, 001 for registration order. In column account ID has many formula like ampersand, left, text, and search. And then in column H has many formula here, today, and then right. After that, I'm gonna explain Gmail column. In Gmail column has two formula: concat for concatenate multiple values and trim for deleting extra space. And the last, zip code and phone number has a data validation. First, zip code. If a customer input zip code not equal to 5, Excel will display an error message. For example, And then for number, if a customer input phone number not equal to 12, which is the length, Excel will display an error message. After I explain customer worksheet, I'm gonna only explain checkout January, invoice January. I will not explain checkout February, invoice February, etc. because it has the same pattern and formula. In such product, stock and price use formula index combined with match. Stock and price column will change dependent in product name. If I change product name into hoodie, for example, look, the stock and price column will change. After I explain such product, I'm gonna explain a bunch of data customer checkout. On column full name, automatically will change dependent on account ID because formula index combined with match. For example, I'm going to change account ID. And then full name will change. In column courier and payment method, there's a drop-down list. And customer can choose what they want. In shipping column, value will change 0 to 10,000 if the value in quantities is 1. For example, before I jump into column total price, I'm going to split my window. Make sure you have already chosen Mozilla version in this window. In total price, has calculation operation. Selling price from Mozilla operation worksheet, which is from column selling price times to quantities, and then add shipping and add admin fee. And this is the result. In invoice January, this invoice is for customer. It has many information dependent on account ID. This account ID, if I change account ID, the data in invoice will change. For example, I'm going to tell you to look at the invoice in PDF.
Next, this is the worksheet table, sort out and read products. This table is needed to retrieve data and sort out read products for each month from each seller. This table was created to make it easier to see the progress of sellers from each sellers and month, like how many of each product were sold out and what was the average rate of product. The following is the data sold out and read products of Fuji location in 3 months. This part is for sold out and read product during January. This one is for February, and this one for March. For the data, product name is taken from the Fuji location table using a 3D reference formula. For sold out and read data are taken from checkout table. For each sold out section using the SUMIF formula, the range is refers to the checkout January worksheet from product name column. The criteria refers to C6, which is product name, and the sum range is refers to the checkout January 2 from quantities column. And for each red section is using the average A formula. The range is refers to the checkout January worksheet from product name column, and the criteria is refers to C6, which is product name. and the average range is refers to the checkout January 2 from red column, as well as the tables for other months still use the same methods and formula. Next is there is the worksheet and table seller. This table consists of 11 columns in the form of the data about sellers in Toko10. For account ID, contains a unique code for each store name. The formula used for this account ID is 3D formulas. the, the meaning of this seller's account ID is S for seller, 01 for register month, which is referred to the date column of the store's register, and 001 refers to this ID. For store order. And there is the name column of Fuzila Fashion, email fuzilafashion@gmail.com, address, zip code, phone number, city, ward, district, and shop registration date. Next, there is the worksheet and table Fuzila Fashion for 3 months. Its table consists of 40 columns, which is contain the name of the months, ID for product order, and for product ID contains a unique code for each product. The formula that used for this account ID is 3D formulas. Then there is a product name, product category, stock, damage, and here is helper of sold out. This helper column is useful for identifying and differentiating data similarities in one table. Then sold out column. In this column, using the sum if, or it can also use a 3D reference formula that refers to sold out and red product table in the sold out column. Then available stock, original price, and selling price. And here also helper of red. Just have a same function with helper of sold out. And the last is red column. In this column, using the average if or also can use a 3D reference formula that refers to sold out and red product table in the red column, as well as the table for other months still use the same methods and formulas, the only difference being the month column. Next, there is the analyze in February and January worksheet. In this worksheet, there are 2 pivot tables, 2 pivot charts, and 2 slicers. The first is a pivot table for profit in January. This table consists of 5 columns, namely product name, sold out, original price, selling price, and profit total per unit. In this column, obtained from the calculation of the selling price minus original price. The result is multiplied by the numbers of sold out. And the grand total using the basic formulas, that is the sum from F4 to F13 with the result of is 86,240,000 rupiah. Besides this, there is a pivot chart from the profit of table in January, and the highest profit was achieved by hoodie product, and the slicer is useful as a filter to make it easier to see the data you want like this. The next is pivot table for loss in January. This table consists of 4 columns, namely product name, damage, original price, and total loss per unit. This column is obtained from the calculation of the original price multiplied by damage, and the grand total using the basic sum formula, namely sum from E26 to E35, with the result is 3,675,000 rupiah. Beside it, there is a pivot chart from the loss table in January, and the highest sold is jersey, and the slicer useful as filter to make it easier to see the data you want like this. Then the net profit in table profit in January is obtained from the calculation of the grand total profit minus the grand total loss. The result is 82,565,000 rupiah. In this worksheet, there is also a report on the lowest sold in January. The first rank is sold with total sold is 29. The second is scarf with a total sold is 44. And the last is hat with the total sold is 44. And this is the regular graph. Next is the lowest rate in January. The first rank is dress with a total 2.8. The second is shirt with a total rate is 3.2, and the last is blues with a total rate is 3.5. This is the regular graph, and the last is the highest sold in January. The first rank is flannel shirt with a total sold is 90. The second is hoodie with a total sold is 87, and the last rank is a jeans with a total sold is 81. All of these product name formula use match and index formula, which refers to Fuzila fashion table, and the total sold, the lowest sold and lowest rate is use small formula that refers to Fuzila fashion table. The highest sold, the total highest sold, use a large formula that refers to Fuzila fashion table too.
Next is the table profit in February. This worksheet contains a pivot table, pivot chart, and the slicer. First, there is a profit table. There are 5 columns. First is product name, sold out, original price, selling price, discount, and profit total per unit. The profit total per unit. This is the calculation of the profit we get from the selling price. The selling price minus the original price. Next, multiple by the number of sold out. After this, the result is multiple by the discount, and that is the net. And the net profit is from the profit total minus the loss total. The profit total per unit, the grand total is 53,267 rupiah and 300 rupiah. Next, this is the loss in February table. There are 4 tables. The first is row label. Some of row label there is a product name. Some of damage, some of original price, and some of loss total per unit. Sum of total per unit is from calculation the original price multiple the sum of damage, and the grand total is 4,225,000 rupiah. And there is the pivot chart, and the high result is hoodie. And this is the pivot chart for loss in February, and the high loss is jeans. And this is the slicer. And next this is the lowest sold in February. The highest sold is dress. The total sold is 26. And the second is blues. The total sold is 27. And the last is shirt. The total sold is 32. And this is the regular chart from lowest sold in February. Next, the highest sold in February. The first is jeans. The total sold is 78. And the second is hoodie. The total sold is 74. And the last is furniture. The total sold is 69. And this is the regular chart from the highest sold in February. And the last is the lowest rate in February. The first is jersey. The total sold is 3.3. And the second is jeans. The total sold is 3.3. And the last is shirt. The total sold is 3.6. And it is the regular chart from the lowest rate. We use formula small to search the lowest sold. Next, we use the large formula to search the highest sold. And we use the small to search the lowest rate. Next is the worksheet from analysis in March. This worksheet contains a pivot table, pivot chart, and slicer. First, there is a profit table which consists of 5 columns. There are product name, sold out, original, and selling price, total, profit per unit, and the discount. The calculation of the profit we get from the selling price minus the original price and multiple by the sold out. And the net profit, the net profit is total profit minus the total loss, and the total net is 44,699,100 rupiah. And the total profit per unit is 46 million 34,100 rupiah. And this is the pivot chart look like. The highest profit is the flannel shirt. Next is the pivot table of loss in March. There are 4 rows. The first is product name, sum of damage, sum of original price, and sum loss total per unit. And the grand total is 1,335,000 rupiah. And this is the pivot chart like. The highest loss is on jersey product. And this is the slicer. The filter is product. Next, there are 3 loaves sold in March. The first is soap, the total sold is 49. The second is scarf, the total sold is 51. And the last is hat, the total sold is 56. And here the regular chart from lowest sold in March. Next, the highest sold in March. The first is hoodie, the total sold is 83. The second is jeans, the total sold is 81. And the third is flannel shirt, the total sold is 64. And that is the regular chart from the highest sold in March. And the last is the lowest rate in March. The first is dress, the total sold is 3.4. The second is scarf, the total is 3.5. And the last is soap, the total is 3.6. And this is the regular chart from the lowest rate in March. Next is the profit in 3 months, worksheet and table. This table is needed to view product profit data every month from each seller. This table was created to make it easier to see the progress of sales profit for each seller on month. Our profit data can be obtained from worksheet Puzilla Fashion, and this data from works and this data from analysis in 3 months. And we use the 3D reference formula to following the profit. Those are some things that we can convey in today's presentation. We apologize if there are words or actions that are not pleasing to us. We hope this project can be useful for everyone. With this, I conclude today's presentation. Thank you for the time you have given us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.